Today we're going to learn an A major chord in open position. Let's compare an A minor chord to an A major chord. An A minor chord looks like this in terms of fingering and sounds like this. In order to change an A minor chord to an A major chord, we have to move just one note. This C note that we find underneath our first finger on the second string will move to a C sharp note. But in order to do that, we have to sort of rearrange our fingers. So this C note becomes a C sharp note, like so, underneath our third finger, and then the rest of the chord of A major. So as you can see, all the notes are the same between an A minor and an A major chord, with the exception of the one note of C becoming C sharp instead in an A major chord. A major chord, A minor chord. This same logic holds true for every major chord to minor chord. It's only one note that changes to make a major chord a minor chord. A minor chord is just a three-note chord, and a major chord is just a three-note chord as well. And it's only the one note, the third, that changes between those two chords. Let's take a closer look at the A major chord and how to finger that. So first of all, we have our root on the fifth string of A. Then finger 1 on string 4, the E. Finger 2 on string 3, another A. Finger 3 on that C sharp on string 2, and then we can also play the open E. Now, one of the particular challenges of the A major chord in terms of fingering is that we have all of our fingers in the most common form. We have all our fingers in one fret. And that can be a little squishy at times. You know, I even find it, you know, if you have sort of larger fingers, it's difficult to get them all within that one fret. So there are alternate possibilities for that fingering. I'm going to show you one right now. This alternate fingering is with a little 2/6 bar. Now I call this a 2/6 bar. Because I've got, I'm barring only 2 strings out of the 6 strings. So it's called a 2/6 bar with my first finger on strings 4 and 3, and then with the second finger on the C sharp. Some people find this more comfortable. So you can try, you know, either or. Either this form of the A major with the 2/6 bar with finger 1, or this A major chord with fingers 1, 2, and 3 in the same fret. Remember that the root of the chord is found on the 5th string, open root of A, same as it would be with A minor, right? A major, root of A. Now, because the A chord is the 5 chord in the key of D, it will very commonly move to a D major chord. So let's take a look at this A major chord moving to a D major chord. With this third finger here on the C sharp, that's going to move to the D of the D chord. So it's called a guide finger, right? So we're going to move back and then guide to the D. And in each case, we play the A root of A and then the D root of D. And you'll notice the fingers of my left hand don't completely leave the fretboard. That finger 3 stays down and then guides to the D. This is a good way to practice this chord. It's a very, very common change. It'll happen over and over and over. So to begin to think of these chords in groupings is a good idea for overall practice. Guide. guide. Now, and just one more thing. As far as the strings that you're striking with your right hand, I'll give you an alternative to do as well. You can stop at string 2, watch. I'm not going as high as string 1. And then the same thing with the D. Stopping at string 2, back to A chord, stopping at string 2. That's good practice, and it'll give you a slightly different voicing of the chord, and then you can also follow through to the top string. Listen. You can hear that. And then only as far as string 2. Slightly different sound, a slightly different resolution. You're really hearing the C sharp moving to the D, as opposed to hearing the E moving to the F sharp of the chord. So lots to learn there. A simple chord, but there are some important concepts. Concept number 1, harmony, generally how notes and chords are put together. A minor chord is only, there's only one note that has to change between a minor chord and a major chord. So whenever you're changing from any minor chord to any major chord, be aware of the note that's changing. Not so much all the fingers that you're changing, but more so just the note that you're changing. What's happening on the fretboard, right? That's the important thing. What's taking place on the fretboard in order to move from one chord to another chord. Don't get caught up at looking at your finger shapes, but take a look at how those finger shapes are being expressed in terms of notes on the guitar fretboard. And also the grouping your chords. In this case, we're grouping a chord of A to D. In other words, a 5 chord moving to a 1 chord, right? And then we're chopping out string sets. You can stop your pick at string 2, right? And actually pressing into string 1. Or follow through. And you'll notice it's a slightly different sound in each case, even though the chords are the same. You're emphasizing a different note. And finally, we've got that different fingering. We've got the A being fingered with fingers 1, 2, and 3, or with that 2/6 bar, as with the second finger on the second string, as well as the second finger on the second string. So work out what's comfortable for you, and remember that the difference between a major chord and a minor chord is only one note.